Well, hello, Free Enterprise fans out there watching us here tonight on RPG Limit Break. I believe we started this tournament probably about 10 weeks ago with Fu and Zeromus drinking Bacchus wines at noon on Tuesday. But now we're here, seeing how far these two teams have come. I am joined tonight by, of course, one of the members of one of these wonderful teams, Yoshi-kyan. How are you tonight?
Good. I'm going to try not to be too biased, but I will absolutely slip on occasion, and I'm ready for you to call me out on it every time.
Every time you say.
Yeah, most. Yeah, like I'm gonna be here. I will avoid cheering them on too much, but yeah, New Moon, Cubs, and Kyrios. Currently 1-0 up in the matchup over Rusty Spoons, Korgs, and Rex. So both of them will need to get the wins for their team to win. Sprite and a harp song on the line. On Move Elixir. So the runners, individually, the team records, New Moon won more games, but fewer individual matches. But with these specific runners, everybody went 3-0 during the Moonveil Mixer period. The only loss any of them have taken on Moonveil Mixer was in the semi-finals matches. So we're looking at the best of the best within this tournament, except for, of course, potentially the finals. But build up to that one with this.
That'll be later this week. We're here now. We've got Porn. We've got the best hero, as voted by the Free Enterprise Discord ? Poll of one. It was me. We've got Edge, so we've got big power in the back. We've got a Sand Ruby to start. How do you feel about this start overall?
Edge. So I'm always kind of cautious to say this is really good, because Edge start is great and you have all the power you want, and that means you get to sweep through everything. The reason I'm hesitant to say that is that's going to favor one person more than the other. I never want to be like, this is good for both runners, because if it's good for one, then presumably that means it's bad for the other. But I don't think you're ever disappointed to see an Edge start, at the very least.
I mean, easing your way through the overworld is nice. Flame is real good. You're like one mute knife away from just, at least in my own opinion, never opening a treasure chest again. But I know that, people like boxes. Speaking of, Rex has not really found a ton of stuff. I think there was a silk web and a cat claw here in the watery pass. Cubs and Korgs are just like, I like characters. They're gonna add the black mage right away. So now we also get twin magic. Everything is great. Power is just spilling forth.
Edge and Twins just feel like a autopilot your early game. This is great. You don't have to think for the next 20 minutes. You've just been given pretty much everything you need. I'm ready for one boss to show up. There's the exception to the rule to punish that, but we'll deal with that when it happens. For now, you're unbelievably happy about this layout. Just need to get one of the kids a few levels before they can start really getting that damage in.
Yeah, Rex did snap up a mute knife, by the way, in the secondary watery pass area. So does have a ninja star and a mute knife for starting the Edge off right here. So probably feeling pretty good about that. That's probably going to be a little bit of an early advantage. Really opens up your options on how fast you can go through this.
So we are getting some of those early boss scouts as well. Effectively 3 boss hunts here, if we group Demist in with that. So much value in just finding out what those early bosses are. But Korgs, on the other hand, is going to give us our next look at a character in a second. And I guess, what do you think you're looking for at this point? We've said about kind of the early power here, but what's kind of the missing piece to this then?
Well, middle swords are located here, so we do have middle swords. Tella's probably not the missing piece. I mean, we're on sea hero, so he can't really anchor. Mountain is fine though, so seeing more deals means that if this is a hook route, Tella's actually pretty good. I don't know, the missing piece right now is kind of the decision of, since it's max item tier 5, you're not going to get any of the big edge swords. Do you want to gamble it off on trying to shop them up in the underground, like ninja swords, or do you want to try and take encounter boxes for levels, but also rolls on Murasame's and Masamune's? And otherwise, nothing else that this party really desperately needs. It's just everything that's going to make it a little bit more convenient at this point, more than anything.
Hi, sorry to step in just a quick second. We will get Korg's stream back up. He's just having a little bit of OBS issues. I will get him back up as quickly as I possibly can. Continue listening to the wonderful commentators.
Thanks to our
And I guess.
Thanks.
And I guess this is a very good early opportunity to shout out Dathus on the restreaming and Garen and Noob Tree on the tracking, who are going to have an incredible task catching up when the stream comes back, which tracking is wizardry to me.
Yeah, 2 cat claws have been located so far. One was in Pass, one was up here on Hobbs. Korgs is going to continue shoving forward here, and is now in Antlion Cave, I think, with no interest in treasure chests other than maybe the safety life chest here, and yeah, moving right along.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, with this early power, I guess it's almost at the point of start rushing those checks, start figuring out where your underground access lies. This is a team that's going to be pretty well equipped for a hook route, I guess, but obviously depending on what's there, but having at least one blink caster, potentially a second, having some decent damage output. It's not one where you're too upset to see a hook, I think, but again, that thing of a hook route probably suits one of the runners more than the other. Are you hoping for the magma key, knowing that it's easier for you but also easier for your opponent, or the hook route to kind of make things that little bit more difficult?
I mean, when you're just a good runner, I don't think you really care all that much. If you've got skills, you're just like, you probably want a hook route, but you can make the magma key work too. I think this party snap grinds very well. Like, this is a 5 siren party. You want to get warp on Palom, so you don't have to do the mountain necessarily if underground access shows up early. You want to make sure that you get Porum Blink, like you mentioned, which takes a little bit of time in doing, and get you Berserk as well for your edge, so lots of good stuff there. Luca Key is our reward, though, here in Antlion Cave, with Warp Glitch on, basically a blank. There's Mute Knives here for sale in Fabul as well, so it looks like Korg is going to stock up on those and probably slap a pair of them on Edge just to be done with middle swords and everything.
Yeah, Boomerang there is also a really nice find. Just keep that Edge kind of safe and healthy in the back row, but right now we're still in the phase of Flame being really good, but that is going to trail off very soon.
That looked like Water Hag grabbing a quick shower. Easy Boss is off the table. How do you generally feel about seeing easy bosses early? Like Dark Imps up top, we've got Water Hags off the board.
I feel like a lot of the time it sets you up for a potential kind of long game, I guess is the best way to put it. But I think more than anything, getting one of the blue robes out the way there is really nice, just so that if you see the other one later in the Fame Arch or something, it's okay, you know this is an objective. There's no question, there's no having to scout anything out.
Underground access still a little bit out of reach here. Korgs picks up a twin harp from the defensive Fabul, and Asura is the first boss here with Yang as our character in the Baronin.
Yeah, in theory that Mute Knife doing a lot of work here, but yeah, with the amount of HP this slot has, maybe not as much as it could have.
Very much the opposite type of boss coming off the table here. One of the most frightening bosses in the game, Ogopogo, is here in the second slot in Baronin. Good news is it's pretty slow. And, you know, the wave is going to do a guaranteed 25% times 2 for the first one and then times 1 for the second. So should be in good shape here.
Yeah, and I guess kind of to contrast against earlier talking about the free bosses, this is one that you're happy to see disappear early. Like, getting this here as opposed to somewhere where it's, you know, on the moon or somewhere where it could actually pose a big threat. You're happier seeing it in somewhere where it's kind of slow, kind of weak, and you just don't have to worry about that later. Still plenty more bosses to worry about once we do get to that stage, but the first step.
We're starting to narrow down our underground access. It was just a vampire for clearing out Yang, so basically chaff here. Yang is your character, also, you know, good with levels. Do you keep Yang in this flag set? Is Yang in the game plan here?
With those cat claws, like, there's potential. I think typically not really, but if there is a world where you keep a Yang in this flag set, this seed looks like it's kind of setting up the path to that.
Yep. Path to Mount Ordeals, of course, is being tread by both Cubs and Korgs here. Korgs taking out the first boss, which was Kainazo, another one that's kind of scary. And now I guess we're all out of water here because we're getting the last splash here from Leviathan. So we've seen all the waves that we can see at this point.
Yeah, still none of those boss hunts, still no Demis showing up. It's kind of the biggest contrast to Potion Party, I guess, is Ordeals is very slow and inefficient and kind of just a bad check in Potion Party, but it's 3 bosses, and that is a much bigger deal now.
Sorry to jump in. Speaking of 3, unfortunately, we will only have 3 feeds tonight. Kyrios, I apologize, I said Korgs earlier. Kyrios' stream is just giving us some technical difficulties. Was fine all during prep. We will get an official local recording from him, and times may need to be confirmed at the end of the race. I do apologize for this, guys, but this is the best we can do. Still cheer them on. I'd appreciate Kyrios working with me while trying to sort out tech issues while running.
Thank you again. So, Korgs through 2, Cubs through 1 here. Rex just picked up the Twin Harp at Castle Fabul. Korgs is going to go back to save before the Crystal Room because, well, Crystal Room with the Sea Hero, you can only fight it with one character, and that character is Porum.
Yeah, not... And with the loot hasn't exactly been friendly, the shops aren't good, the settings don't really lend themselves to getting good bows or anything to make Porum remotely offensive, so it's a fairly weak spot, but just a Lunar Staff as well.
I mean, that's kind of exactly what you want here. Um, like that's the funny thing is we've got a power staff and a lunar staff, so like the power staff has good accuracy, at least it hits. So there's that. It's Valvalis though.
Val is, yeah, like Val is not what you want to see here at the very least, and I almost wonder if there's a world where you reset out of this.
Knowing that there's absolutely nothing up here for you other than some experience points. It's an idea.
I guess it's a question of like how much do you value that staff? It's good. I'm not questioning that one, but Valvalis is pretty much the last thing you wanted to see here, I think, and as good as the payoff of a lunar staff is, I'm not sure it's worth that.
You can open a lunar staff in a regular box on this flag set. It's not. It's worth nothing. It's worth nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I think I would. Admittedly, very different runners, very different skill levels, but I would have been straight out of here seeing Val.
Yeah, Cubs lining up vampires here. Valvalis goes into the whirlwind, and that vampire still does full 1 damage.
Ugh.
I think they value the telespells is whatever it's kind of putting their money on here, because they're coming back in for it, which means they want it.
Yeah, and I mean, that does make sense for sure. Especially if the underground access shows up early. You know, it can be quite a bit of extra work to get Palom to warp, and then just having it available with the teller is nice. Having that extra, at least early game firepower of those spells is good. But yeah, no, Cubs decides to leave. Korg's getting through it, so a little bit of a contrast on that side, but be interesting to see how Rex decides to handle that once he makes his way over there.
Yep, we know that Twin Harp, though, is barring our access to the underground. It's on that ring, so from Fabul here, which is where Cubs has to go, to the Harp, to wherever the Harp may take us. And I believe Korgs will be getting there first, unless Rex decides to issue the mountain. And so we'll see if that's sort of in the plan here. I think you said it best earlier there, Yoshi. It's real hard to pass the mountain on these flags. No, I'm gonna have to unmute. I'm gonna have to unmute the stream in a minute, because yeah, it's Twin Harp, isn't it?
Getting the first one out the way nice and early.
That's right. It's also on the objective board. Cape Magnus.
I know there's been a lot of talk in this flag set of the kind of double, triple, quadruple objectives. So we know this has to lead to underground access somehow. But it'll be interesting to see if it also supplies any of those boss hunts, or if it's the hook and that leads to some of these boss hunt objectives. D-Mist could still show up and open up both underground access and another key item objective.
True, and if we want to get super technical, this could still be any item realistically, because D-Mist could still be at Tower of Zot 1. holding on to our underground access as well in the rare instance that those happen. But yeah, current state of affairs, Rex is on the mountain. Cubs is taking the Twin Harp out, having done the first couple bosses on the mountain, having left the Lunar Staff behind. So I assume that his plan is going to be to fly due east as well, over to Toroya. This has been pretty good so far.
Oh. Just before we do get this harp music, Cub's taking a detour to Eblan, so we'll comment afterwards on exactly how that plays out.
Tella's got Berserk hooks in hand. I had no idea what the music was.
Yeah, no, I have no clue. So yeah, hook available, and sending us on a very clear path there, so wouldn't be too surprised to see Korgs also go to Eblan Castle after that, but I also didn't see what Cubs picked up, but both Korgs and Cubs doing a little bit of life glitching there, just grabbing some extra experience on these paths as well.
Yeah, being told that was from DuckTales 2. But yeah, I didn't see anything really pop off the first chest there. It's not going to be key items, of course. Key items are back to their sort of standard main summon moon spots here. So encounter boxes are just for trying to high roll items at this point in time.
Yeah, and I guess the main selling point is, I think the numbers I've heard, there's slight differences on the numbers I've heard, but it's usually 60 to 70% to pull tier 8 items from Eblan Castle. So if you pick up an adamant here this early, that is kind of cruise control for a lot of the seed.
You want a crystal bucket? Because that's what was in that last box, was a crystal bucket.
That's some nice money.
Yeah. He's going to wear it technically, but but more likely you're going to sell it. Yes. Rex is going for the self-circ here on Volvolus, so just gonna get that power staff powering through is the hope, I think. Trying to get 4 swings in here at about 250 a swing before death.
And that first week did miss as well, so that alone might be enough to tip this, I think.
Yep, Cubs also got a lunar staff out of one of the boxes here, so anybody can get one if you really want one. And Korgs is going to sort of backtrack as well. Has not done Baron Inn yet, so it's going to stop back at Baron Inn. Rex's very angry form has swung through Volvolus as well, so does not have to come back here later. And we'll have the Telespell suite as well.
And as much as that's like a pretty terrible spot for Valvalus to be in, the fact that, you know, in Cubs' position, you know, it's just 100% unnecessary. He's never going to go back for that.
Hey, you mentioned adamant armor before. Did you bring one into existence? I think this was your fault.
I think. Okay.
You did this. This is yours. You made this happen.
Good.
Cubs has an adamant armor. How do you feel?
This is, I think, the third time watching one of Cubs' races where I said it might be an adamant, and then it has been. So, I'm not going to complain.
How biased are you feeling right now?
This is just a one-off. I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like, I have done this 3 times now, and at this point, I'm accepting my position as Cubs' resident wizard or something.
Well done. Well done. So Cubs has spiked in adamant armor, though. I think it took him like about 2 seconds to strap it to Edge, so Edge is going to be the king of Damage Mountain here.
And yeah, well on the way to that hook, which kind of, you know, the hook route, probably not too much of a threat. Most things there, you're going to have a pretty comfortable way through with a team like this anyway. With that adamant, pretty much no threat at this point.
We've seen nearly all of the adamant piercers as well. No Volvolus for weak, no waves available to us at this point in time. We could theoretically, I guess, see Golbez, but adamant protects you from elemental magic. The only thing that really hurts you in that fight is virus, you know. So yeah, like the only other adamant piercer that's out there is Dark Knight Cecil, which would be not a lot of fun for any of these runners, I suspect.
Yeah, technically the one of the free bosses, but is it really in this?
Yeah, I think adamant armor is a pretty surefire way to get through whatever's going to be down with that hook route, because of just, again, a lot of the adamant piercers are off the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So Korgs looks like didn't make that stop, so we'll be missing out on that adamant for now, I think. But at the same time, like, this feels like a pretty good party. This is, I wouldn't say it's the best thing, but this, you've got enough variety to handle just about anything the hook route will throw at you. It just, you know, some of them might be a little more awkward than others.
Yeah, I think, you know, again, it's going to be a lot of how you, again, how when you get power, it's not just having power, it's how you use it, of course. And that's, you know, that's where you sort of start separating the good runners from the great runners. You know, the idea of, you know, how do you glean out everything that you can out of a party? Like, yes, you can autopilot real hard with an adamant armor on your Edge. Like, just slap Berserk on him and let him go, but what if it's not the fastest option for a fight, right? And you get really into, like, the micro of the game, which can be very difficult. A potentially very interesting party composition is coming together, though, with Rosa on the board now. Um, we could be seeing double White Mage, triple Bruiser, maybe? Hopefully?
Yeah, kind of almost like half jokingly, without the with the restricted characters as a consideration here, kind of said, this is about as good a team as you can ask for in terms of variety. And the only thing I was thinking at the time was a Rosa would be better. Like, that's the obvious upgrade. And well, won't be an upgrade just yet. Does need a little bit of an investment still, but that heroine robe will do some work.
I mean, I think, yeah, it'll keep her alive right now, which is definitely the best part of it. And of course, having some agility on your mage, even with the penalty to your magic casting stats, can still be really handy.
And I imagine we'll see a full life glitch for ogres here for just to kind of bring her up to speed, get her online, and get her in position to punch through those hook bosses.
Yeah, I think the tough thing here is just making sure that you get enough of your party through the fight, which it's been good so far. I especially like the point casts of stop here because Palm really can't do anything else in this fight. The ogres have just gigantic magic resistances.
Yeah, and like there's always that kind of, I guess, contrast in this of, do you stop the front ones that are going to do more damage to you, but then did Korg see the boomerang earlier?
I don't remember actually. Like even so, he's gonna get through this fight okay and have stuck, I believe, 2 life glitches. I think he missed the one because he was using edge to swing. So still pretty good. Still gonna get, the 16, like the 14-ish, I think. Should be pretty good. Yeah, 14, 220.
And that's, 11 levels for Rosa. Berserk and Blink. It was Quake for Palom. That drop went too quickly. I did not see what that was.
I didn't either. Clearly wasn't an adamant armor because he's not putting it on.
Crystal Sword, apparently. So, good, eventually.
I mean, it's only good if Cecil shows up. It's bad otherwise. I mean, I guess it's a lot of money otherwise. Rex is stopping in to grind up a little bit here in Abandoned Castle Eblan, while Cubs and Korgs dash on down to the save point here. And I believe Korgs will be slightly ahead, giving us the first look at the bosses here at the hook route. Also, no Holy Sword for Cubs. He got that adamant armor, and I think he's in go, go, go mode at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely makes sense. It's get underground, open up a whole ton more, and that adamant is going to carry you a long, long way. The fights that you do underground are going to give you the kind of extra levels that you'll need just to make it really kind of hammer home the point. I guess the big question there is then, where's your first stop once you get underground?
So, we said that there could be any number of brutal bosses here in this first spot. Bahamut ain't it.
Yeah, no.
6,000 damage for this team should be pretty straightforward.
And Cubs narrowly getting through the fight first there, actually. So that Adamant already kind of putting in some work. Still a lot more to come from that one, but that is a scary fight.
It's a slow fight. Like, I think the plan here is just to like let the D-Lunars work themselves up to breath and then throw 2 Star Veils. And then the fight's a free win because they turn themselves into frogs.
Yeah, like, they will do a decent amount of damage in the process. You never want to let them cast a virus ever, but... And actually, especially on Korg's side, this is potentially a very scary fight.
Yeah, Cubs is going to rely pretty heavily on that adamant armor here. The breath goes out, reflects onto the front frog, and the thing is you take a swing at the frog, because the one that you attack is the one that casts wall. So what happens is if you attack a frog that tries to cast wall, it doesn't do anything. So now the virus script goes off, but there's no walls, so now the D-Lunars will help you finish the fight, and so Cubs has executed this absolutely beautifully and flawlessly.
And just making the point there, just to bring up those other characters again, get all of this experience, because at this point it's still a lot. This is worth an absolute ton at this stage, so kind of sets you up to do whatever you want in the underground. I know I have very strong opinions on this, on like ordering underground checks. Where do you think you go first?
Where do I go first? It is likely that I'm going to Tomra first for shop checking, and then I'm headed to Feymarch, and then I'm headed to Dwarf Castle. The thing is that also there's an order which is just you go for shops first, so you go to Dwarf Castle immediately for shopping, you go to Tomra for shopping, looking for sirens so that you can snap grind. Put your party out to like level 35 so you can try and take on a couple of bosses down in the Feymarch.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, for the most part, I think there are kind of 2 options. It's always going to be, do you start with... I think you weave Tomra in somewhere, and it's then just a question of, do you start with Dwarf or Feymarch? And you're doing both. It's just a sequencing question.
Speaking of sequencing, hi! My name is Nathis, your streamer. I don't know if you remember me from about 20 minutes ago or not. I'm back with yet another small update going on here. I do absolutely apologize for interfering as much as I have been, but as you see, we've had multiple different issues with Kyrios' stream. Unfortunately, he had a full-on crash and is forfeiting from this race. However, Korgs, the wonderful, wonderful person that he is going to continue racing, but he is not doing an official time. The Kyrios and Korgs rematch will be rescheduled. They are going to go again at a later time because Korgs has been a fantastic runner and sport and allowing to do so. We are going to continue to watch this lovely Twincast as it is, but the admins at large have said that they are going to have their rematch at a later date when they reschedule, when Kyrios' computer decides it wants to behave slightly better. But again, big shoutouts, GG's to Kyrios for working with me as much as he has been on this, as well as Korgs for being a fantastic sport in this. Hopefully this is the last time you hear my voice, and I will send it back over to your commentary team.
I missed him, you know. Cubs cracking an egg at about 38 minutes, and I think the big thing here is that if Cubs wins this race, right, it's 2-0, right? That's that for that. Is that how that works at this point?
Yeah. Well,
your Cubs here, they are ahead. They're ahead 3-0 in the 6th inning here. They're into the bullpen. Things aren't looking great, but hey, a lead's a lead, right?
I I am almost like, okay, was that just the one egg? I think.
It was one siren that he located in a treasure chest in Castle Eblan.
Right. Okay. I'm kind of a little surprised to see it this early, but like, makes sense. You are right there when you land, and it just makes all of this kind of clean sweep around that little bit smoother. With this adamant, Dwarf Castle is not long for this. That's a pair of kings waiting in the Feymarch there as well. So at least one of those is going to fall incredibly quickly.
Man, King in blue robes seems like he's the target today. Yeah, King Queen Eblan is completely free, and also they're going to do absolutely no damage. Stack of coffins here for Cubs as well, so going to stock up on those instant kill items.
I know one thing Cubs has been very vocal about trying to teach us in our team chat is preparing for a gauntlet in a terrible location. It's like, it doesn't matter how far into the siege you are, how high a level you think you are. If you see hourglasses, you get hourglasses. If you see coffins, you get coffins, because all it takes is one bad alt gauntlet and you are right back where you started. Won't get a particularly bad one today, though, as it dances past the wall there.
So it'll be one of the standard mixes of underground monsters and friends here. Half of Forge is down in the Feymarch. Freebie Adamant Rock if you want it, and you probably do. Notably, you'll see Cubs taking off the Assassin Dagger there, which reduces your magic damage. So just to make sure they can get these floods off right now and really just rip through with the additional stats from the Adamant Armor.
And sure enough, I'm guessing Cubs saw the levels, knew that warp was going to come from the experience on these fights, and it gets it from the first one of the gauntlet ones, so we'll have that ready and waiting to warp into the back of Sealed Cave after this.
Yeah, I think the egg took him to 28, so yeah, one fight for 29, and that's that for that. Chat's asking what are particularly bad alt gauntlets. Back attack spot, yep, terrible. Ogopogo spot is amazing. I hope you like Red Dragons. A single one shows up at one point and starts flamethrowing your team with Heat Ray. Crystal Sword Altar is just a lot of health, but is very easy. Ribbon Altar is just annoying because you want literally anything else there for the 200,000 experience points. And, you know, you get more experience, but it's just a slog. Okay. Rex just picked up the big stick here and is on his way underground, but Cubs is through, what is that, 4 fights in the gauntlet here? Black Lizards to go. Out of mana for Flood's going to flame these. I think that should be fine. Should be well on the way.
And yeah, Korgs has left the Feymarch with the King and Queen and is going to be following closely behind, so both Korgs and Cubs going to pick up a second objective here. At least. And I can only assume Cubs will then go down to the Feymarch, kind of trade places with Korgs on that front. I think the biggest question is going to be if Cubs then also tries to take the Odin there. It was on the nicer spot of the two for Odin to be, I think, but it's not exactly something you want to see there, regardless.
Oh, second boss Wyvern, but it's doing Magnet, so it's going to lock this edge out of the fight. So yeah, I guess I guess you're just going to Quake it a couple times and it's going to be fine, but it's just funny. Like your edge is lining up to like take a big swing or do something, and then
Yeah, I think in any other spot, that Wyvern magneting edge would have actually been pretty horrendous, but getting it here with this low health is like, okay, at least it played nice on one front.
yeah, Quake becomes an option there. Rexroll, of course, cuts through Bahamut as well, no problem to speak of there. So he's going to get the news that the second boss is a Lunar Spark and probably go back and save, but we know it's D-Lunars. Korgs is just, again, also using ninja magic to cut through this fight, and Cubs is going to give us a look at 2 checks here in just a moment. Obtained key to Baron, and warping through. This is the back of Luca Cave, which we don't need to do unless we're really chasing Golbez in particular. And that's the other half of Forge is down here. So both halves of Forge are located and known. For Objective 4, Objective 3 is done. Objective 1 is done if you do Dwarf Castle. So we're getting there, halfway there.
Yeah, and I guess specifically as well, like, coming off of kind of the freebie in the Fey March there is a really nice benefit, because it just means that even if the Forge items aren't going to be the most relevant thing here, potentially, it's that getting that extra value that a little bit earlier, and you'd much rather have that there than on the Queen Odin.
Yep, Silken Webs were for sale in Tamra. Looks like Rex is trying to push here on the D-Lunars fight. I don't know. I haven't actually been paying perfect attention to see if he's throwing up veils, but I do see a lot of sweet magic going out at this point.
Yeah, notably he did run back to the save point in between, which, like, it's one of those things that I know a lot of people kind of feel bad about doing, because it feels like you're running 1,000 miles back and forth, like, all over the place, but probably happy that he's done that, given the fight that this ended up being. I think in Rex's position, of all the Lunar Sparkles this could have been, this was probably the worst.
Yep, Cubs giving us a reminder that it was the Tale of Rodents down here in Fey March as well, so we do already have the hook, so that is a check as well on the board. Rex is getting those veils up now, and so it is probably about that time for some breath, and yeah, now he's officially through the fight. Nothing but a formality at this point.
And so Cubs picked up a whole bunch of Bacchus. Adamant Berserk Edge is just going to start tearing things down, and Korgs meanwhile tearing down this Wyvern, so we'll go and pick up the Legend Sword and we'll see what the Super Smith has to offer us today.
Something really nice for our girl Porum. She deserves it. She is our perfect daughter. Cubs also beelining the blue cloaked king here again, as it is the free fight, so is going to get the adamant in just a moment. Rex has got his underground access all pinned down and buttoned up here, about 9 minutes off the pace at the moment. Heading on down, and he's got some work to do here to keep this race close. Not adamant armor's good.
I'd missed that one earlier, actually, on both Korgs and Cubs' side, but there was a wall waiting at the top of I was going to say the top of the tower, but the top of the bottom of the tower. Again, another one that, in and of itself, okay, it's kind of annoying there, but you would much rather see it there than on a Crystal Sword altar, or a Massa altar, or in Cave Bahamut.
just has kind of an annoying amount of health there, so you do need to work through it pretty quickly, because if it gets to the end of the line, it stops punching you and starts just instantly killing your party members. Cubs doesn't care about that. Neither does Rex. You know why? They got adamant armors. So the fight's a freebie for both of them. Death immunity actually makes the wall free as long as your party member who has the death immunity can survive to the end.
And meanwhile, on Cords' side there, I didn't see everything in this shop, but I did see ribbons. So, even without that adamant, the death immunity's there, and it just means that tower spot not gonna pose any particular threat. Doesn't hit particularly hard, and yeah, now it getting to the end into that crush phase is just not a concern. If you need to, you can pick up those ribbons. The bigger question is just if any of the runners want to go in there without having a tower key.
Not preferable, but hey, some people may do it. But Odin's here, and Cubs is just like rolling up here. Edge is swinging for about 2 grand, so we're gonna need a fair few of those swings to get through this fight. I'm gonna also go with Lit 2s, which actually do a ton of damage. Odin is super weak to lightning magic, so should be just fine.
Yeah, I did not see if we have any Thunderclaws kicking around anywhere, but
already has one on, looks like.
I did see a switch to lit arrows there as well, so just pretty much everyone putting out a decent chunk of damage, but it's looking like it's going to be an Edge solo. Oh no, that's just straight down. Not a...
just not enough DPS at this point. You either got to go in with confidence in your menuing, or you've got to be overwhelmingly powerful. So he's going to make the one switch to lit arrows here, and I guess he's just going to take looks like he's going to take another bite of the cherry here. He's going to go right back in. Korgs gives a look at the item from the hook and tail, which is just a white dress. So white dress, Nirvana staff. I mean, Porum is geared to the teeth at this point. Something too young for smells like teen. It smells like Teen Spirits.
So Cork's making his way up to Baron. Technically, I guess a couple of boss checks here. We'll probably, go up to the throne, take care of that, and then go back in to see what's in the basement. There's a decent chance that it's like a decent fight to take at this point, but there are definitely still a few things I think that could add a roadblock here.
Yep, one more shot here for Cubs rule, but it looks like, yeah, his damage is falling well short of the mark at this point, and Odin gets his revenge on another party here and slices them, dices them, and chops them up for the tune of 4,000 damage ahead.
Yeah, it's always one of those things of like trying to clear this out while you're here. You just never have to come back is great and all, but we'll probably feel kind of bad about that. Taking a couple of deaths just gives a little bit of time back to Rex here to try and make up that difference.
Yeah, Rex is in the process of tearing apart the Gauntlet and Wyvern here, and is through and done. So good on him.
And I guess we kind of half-jokingly talked about it'll be interesting to see if anyone wants to go up the tower without the key, but sure enough, that was the play. So we are getting that big divergence of Baron versus the tower here. And we know it's fairly likely at this point that Rex is going to follow down into the Fey March, and then we'll have essentially the same decision to make afterwards as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cubs is just like, the wall's probably just fine, so he makes the move for it. Rex has got a Baron Key and a Legend Sword now. So, we'll see. He can probably, again, he'll grab a couple minutes back if he doesn't take any shots at Odin here, because, God, Odin is still dangerous. You know, that'll help close the gap a little bit here. And if there's nothing here, if there's nothing at the top of tower and Rex goes against the tower play and instead decides to go direct to Baron and skip top of tower, things could slowly start getting interesting again in that bottom race. I don't know. Do you want things to get interesting in the bottom race? I bet you do, right? You definitely do.
I'm happy with things to just play at a safe. I would take a full clear at this point.
Rex even skipping the Fey March, just going straight up top. No Forge, no Adamant for free, no Rat Tail, just opening the hole, heading on up, direct to Baron, non-stop flight. This is the gamble play. We're chasing the first item we get our hands on. But yeah, it depends on what this is. Like I said, Rex could make this, again, if this is nothing for Cubs, we're about to find out, and, you know, Korgs will show us if Rex is on the right route or not. That could get interesting.
Yeah, and I definitely think, like, the other big thing here is, I mean, firstly, okay, nothing particularly notable on the tower there. So, kind of bad news for Cubs on that one. And I think the other thing with Baron here is, like, the Baron basement feels kind of awkward as a check. It's a long walk away. It's not the easiest of spots to fight. It's 1k summon check, so it's fairly low value. But it's another boss location. It's an extra check on top of the Baron throne. I definitely get the value in pushing this this early, and if you can take that basement fight as well, that's that extra push of experience to then, in Rex's position, potentially one-trip the entire Fey March. Just go in, take the freebie, both bosses, and leave again.
Especially because it looks like the throne is going to be necessary here, because it was just a package box. So just a character check if you want it for a long time. Cubs is just like, I like freebies instead, you know, I don't feel like actually fighting anything anymore or actually playing for Enterprise. I'm here for the Free Enterprise Walking Simulator. He's gonna go down and talk to the Sylphs.
And I imagine to some extent this is a thing of... I think there are like a few different ways to approach routing, in the sense of, do you value efficiency or do you value kind of the highest odds of success versus, and then like efficiency also breaks down into kind of what is the nearest and fastest check versus the assuming I have to do everything, what's the best order. In Cubs' issues here, I think in particular, one of the reasons they might be considering this part is this saves you a potential trip back and forth. You're going above ground to do Baron after this because it's essentially the only thing available that's reasonable to do at this point. And so get that other blue planet check along the way. Make sure you can do Baron and Sheila 1 at the same time.
Yeah, it seems like a fair plan. Character, of course, in Baron was Kane, so if you want the Dragoon, he's available to you. More importantly, did we call in the cleanup squad? There's a mop in Village Mist. I'm really forcing that one, I'm sorry. sword out here.
So I'm curious to see what the boss here is in particular, because I think this is the kind of thing where a lot of people are going to be happy with this party. Like, you don't really need that much more. If this is one of those objectives, or, you know, counting D-Mist as part of that, then...
Oh, it is! Here's Golbez!
Sure enough!
Rex just reset out of this. Rex saw Fu probably looking for literally only Cecil for the crystal sword that he's got. And the crowd is laughing. Ha ha ha, here he is. The man himself. The man of darkness. Behind the package box. What a spot.
I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Cubs also avoid this, is the thing. So if that's the case, like, both of them are essentially playing to the other objectives at that point. Korgs, meanwhile, is going to pick up a fourth objective here, and a mop along the way that will definitely still do some very, very good work here. Yeah, that's a huge find here.
That is real intriguing, all things considered. Sheila 1 turns out to be the key to the tower, so Cubs gets to feel bad about a tower double dip on top of things as well.
I'm curious, does that still feel bad if you then go into the tower and it's the pan, knowing that at least that one was a necessary multi-trip?
I guess. I mean, I guess that would at least feel okay. One swing, by the way, Edge just bisects Golbez live on the internet, everybody. Violence has been chosen. Mop obtained. Golbez obtained. We know where he is. He's where Rex isn't, because he skipped out on the package, and Cubs hasn't gotten the package yet.
And Yang down as well, so yeah, full casters here, plus an honorary ninja.
Who's also been a caster a lot of this seed, has castered his way through the early game, through the Babool Gauntlet, so yeah, he's honorary.
Yeah, more than enough bosses down at this point. This Fu is fully prepared to start nuking his way through anything that might pose any kind of problem here.
Violence is certainly the answer here. Rex gonna check the weapon shop here first. He's looking for ninja swords particularly. Gonna find a full moon, which I think he's gonna grab for back row glitch purposes at the least, if not for damage purposes. I'm not sure what weapons he's got right now. And yeah, still hasn't gone down to see that there's a free boss waiting for him. We know that has the adamant armor, or has the adamant rock.
Mm-hmm. So Korg's going back in, reset out of this Antlion earlier, but is coming back in for the return trip now.
Nuke is quite the inducement for coming down and fighting Antlion and not getting counterattacks, honestly. So I'm here for this. Top or middle of tower, super cannon room. Just a Zeus gauntlet, so more power for Edge, but otherwise nothing doing right now. It's Odin. It's Antlion, it's a potentially hidden D-Mist for our Darkness Crystal and continued progress.
I know I said I'd be happy with a full clear at this point, but, like, not quite like this. This is getting a little bit spaghetti, a little bit of chaos here.
Yeah, the tough thing about these flags, like these are very standardized tournament type flags that we've been running for a long time, just with different settings for loot and characters and whatnot. And like, I think the one thing I've learned through this game is that every check that you miss, right? Every check that you open up and it's just like, hey, here's a tier 6 item. Enjoy your, enjoy your white dress. Enjoy your Artemis bow, right? Every one of those you get, it's just more and more sweat. It's like, you go from I'm feeling real good, I got an adamant armor, to oh god, if my opponent routed this at all good, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, like there's always that level of kind of how much will the pressure hit people. There are some people who are absolutely unbelievably good at reading their situation and figuring out exactly where they stand in a position and going, okay, well, odds are most people will have skipped this, so I don't feel so bad, or like people will have had similar routes, or if I'm behind, these are the risks I need to take. I don't know how people do that. I am very much always the buckle under pressure, panic as soon as one thing goes wrong kind of person. And so a lot of it is going to be that question of how much people panic in this kind of situation. But if you don't panic at all, actual robot.
You can't believe it, can you?
Just like nerves of absolute steel if you don't panic in the slightest. The big thing is just mitigating that panic as much as you can, I think.
Absolutely. Cubs in Baron now. Cord showed us what we get from doing Antlion. It's an Earth Crystal. So continued Earth in progress from the Baron Castle Basement Throne. Making this Odin play interesting. It looks like Rex does have a Lit 3 coming out from Tella, but Hallam died before he could cast it. 2 Lit 3s will do the job nearly on its own in this spot, so...
Worth noting as well, that Earth Crystal, saying about the potential for a hidden D-Mist. This takes away one of those options. If it's up here, it's not particularly well hidden anymore. We do still have Sealed Cave as an option for that. But for now, at least, this is, in a way, one of those things where even if this is a miss, you're kind of happy to see it because it removes potential game-breaking options from you. It removes some of those things that could catch you out later on.
Yeah, Rex back to do some shopping again, has to redo. And is he coming in for another run? He is coming in for another run, so he's about to, if he doesn't get the kill here, he is giving Cubs back all of the time that Cubs has used up on Odin at this point. Trying to get, basically, he has a little bit more experience in trying to get Lit 3s off with Palom and Tella here, because those will hurt like heck and then like double Zerk otherwise. So if he's going to go with that plan, it's probably Edge Bacchus Wine, Yang Bacchus Wine, Reflect, or Blink Cast on Palom, Lit 3 is probably the plan here.
I was just about to say, like, yeah, this Tella does make a big difference compared to the Rosa over on Cubs' side. And just as I was about to say that, the Tella took the first hit and immediately dropped to the floor. So maybe not that much of a difference after all.
Yeah, it was about 6,000 his cast. But yeah, we've got the Blink. Oh, he doesn't have the levels because he reset out of the other fight. He had finished King and Queen Eblan and gotten the Lit 3 from that fight. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that's actually an even bigger time loss because he's going to have to redo the other fight as well. Not that it's a long fight, but it's still time that has been sent away, and this is pretty bad. Here's the slow coming out as well, so going to try and delay Odin a little bit here, but I don't think this is going to go so good. And I do appreciate the oh no, you sound like you're really invested in giving us a very unbiased and clean call between these two.
Even if I'm supporting one side, like, that's the kind of thing you don't want to see. It's like a, win at but what cost kind of thing.
Holy Knight warning on your screen, everybody. There may be Holy Sword base damage coming your way in a moment. Cecil is obtainable now in Tower of Zod. I don't know if Korgs chooses to take it because he's pretty reflect heavy right now with the double white mage, black mage, sage lineup here. But we've also got Rydia under the orb.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked to see the Edge go potentially, but in a weird way with that caster setup, maybe Rydia poses a threat here? Probably not.
This is double bruiser, triple white mage. I love this. I love it. He does have the crystal sword from the 4 Ogre chest here, so Cecil's here to party. Gets rid of the black mage. We did it,
I can
folks.
add... Yeah.
That's it. Forum is better than Palom, confirmed. Of course, he can't get rid of Porm anyway, because Porm's the hero. But... let me have this one.
I will take Parm over Palom any day. Not based on how useful they are, but, you know, doesn't change the point.
Rex going ahead over and I believe save after getting lit 3 again. We'll see if he takes another crack at this Odin. Cubs is here fighting Antlion. And even with the counterattacks, it just looks like he's having a fine and good time because there's a couple of characters with enough magic evasion to just avoid them. Korg is going to clean up the orbs here in Zot and give us a look at the Zot item.
And this is a fun one from Rex here. So going in again for that Odin fight, I think here. Went back and saved after the King and Queen, so does have everything kind of set up, and has gone to battle speed 6 just to really get those inputs in, get those lit casts in as quickly as possible, and I have to imagine if this doesn't do it, this is the point where you just say, okay, this isn't it. But this is kind of that last ditch. If this doesn't work, nothing will, and I've invested this much time into it, I have to get something out of this now.
Yep, Pan is obtained from the Earth Crystal, so the chain runs on and actually runs on in a big way because that's going to be objective 5 for Korgs because trading in the Pan really does matter here. Cubs has got the Earth Crystal in hand and is going for it, and Rex is still fighting Odin here. Kind of see what the game plan is at this point in time. We've got 2 Zerkers and we've got some lit casters, and Palom survived the first swing, but not by much, but the amount you survive by doesn't matter as long as you survive.
And that's a Darkness Crystal from Sylph, so we have go mode on Korgs' side.
So it's all behind Antlion at the Baron Castle Basement Throne. The Sylphs, of course, are very helpful and give you the best item in the game. And Cubs, I guess, is going to go ahead and raid the treasury. Where the flag set where every treasury rates 5 out of 10. And Rex gets the most feel-bad glass helmet that he could get at this point. Complete dead blank.
Yeah, definitely, that's the kind of situation where if you weren't already, you're taking risks. You're doing everything you can to try and pull something out, but this isn't a seed that really lets you. It kind of really railroads you into a couple of, you know, you're down to, in all of these positions, kind of 1 or 2 checks left. So there aren't really risks to take at this point, except checking what the package boss is, because that's the one thing that both Rex and Cubs haven't done. Korg's being in go mode is fine, but those two both need to either find that pink tail or go and turn in that package.
Yeah, pink tail on the moon someplace. Could be basically anywhere up there at this point in time. It's Magma Key and pink tail up top. Spoon's also there as well. Okay, Rex is gonna go and get the rat tail turn in here. Gonna go ahead and add on. That's gonna be, I believe that is a white dress. Cubs is heading on through, stopping at the save point, and then heading through Zot here.
And so we won't see much of the moon from Korg's side. It's just gonna go down to that ribbon room, take care of that 6th objective, and then run towards Zeramus. So we get to keep a few surprises on the other altars, the other boss spots, Cave Bahamut, to see what else the moon has in store for us a bit later. But Korg's absolutely tearing through this one, you know. For those who missed it earlier, there were some technical issues on Kyrios' side. Korg's agreed to a rematch, but carried on playing the Seed because he was just enjoying it, and for just enjoying the Seed is doing a really good job of just kind of finding the perfect route through what ended up being actually a kind of long Seed in terms of the number of things you had to do.
Absolutely. It's duplicate Tell on the moon as well. Not very exciting. Cubs, of course, sees the Cecil there, which I don't think he's going to be very interested in because still wearing the old Dark Knight armor at this point. And Rex is going to roll up to Baron here, so going to be trying to push through at this point in time and try and get something done without going to the tower, basically.
I guess this is something that it will gain Rex some time back on Cubs. It won't be enough on its own. Rex, will do the entire pan turn in at once, will have the tower key before going to the tower, so those are a couple of things where Cubs will have lost some time, but those extra Fey March fights are going to make a difference at this point. We'll still need something else to kind of bring us back, I think, but the door is open for that. With the location of Golbez, with the pink tail still as an unknown, there is a window open there at least.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is that if Korgs finishes up the ribbon room and sees the objective pink tail, that's not gonna be good for Rex. That's going to be the worst case scenario, obviously, because, there's no reason not to go down and do your objective first, especially because, bottom-up moon clears are very popular. Generally speaking, the most routed way to do the moon is just to, if you're checking a boss, you face check Bahamut and then skip it, and then kind of move on with your life. Here's Dark Knight Cecil, though. The party is starting. 900 damage a shot. Gonna just gotta throw enough Cure 2 potions here. Very fast on the trigger there, though. Wow. Yeah, gonna just channel out a Cure 4. Cure 4 has 0 cast delay, so this is guaranteed to go off. And yeah, fight's over. Good job, well done, easy game. Core's got skill, that's for sure.
All that talk earlier about things that you don't want to see on the moon, and of course, this is the one that's required, so thankfully not the worst by the time you get here, given how much is required, given that there is a lot of healing to go around in this Seed, but probably one that will give the runners a shock, at least at first. One of those, oh no, is this really here? And then it's like, okay, never mind, this is fine, I can deal with this.
Yep, so there was a key item there. It was the key to the magma the key to the magma. It's just well fodder, we don't need it. Yeah, but he's got a crystal now at about $1.18, pretty good. Cubs is giving us the Luca Cave face check, looking for Demist here. Rex is trying to get through this ant line, which we know has all of our progress. It's got everything. This is where the party is at this point, so we'll see if he can push through this and kind of make it happen.
Yeah, I think with Cubs not knowing where Golbez is and still having kind of 2 big payouts available from this, it makes a reasonable amount of sense. I know this is one of those talking points that's come up in our team chats and stuff, where Cubs is a very big fan of scouting things that are kind of a low commitment, and it's just, okay, you go in, you see what's here, and then you reset out of it, doesn't matter. And I'm very much I will play to the odds, and the odds are those bosses are not here, they're on the moon. So this is one of those things where we vehemently disagree with each other's routing.
That's how it goes. It's always interesting. Korgs is doing my favorite grind of all time, though. Korgs is my hero. Korgs, you're the best. Number 1 best free enterprise player of all time. Because he's grinding chests in the lunar subterrane to get his levels.
Korgs as well is the one runner missing the adamant here, right? So there's the potential for a very big payout from Korg's side. You know, a second adamant, not that amazing, not bad, but the first one is the one that really makes the difference. So Korgs would still be happy to see that, I think, even if it's just for the Zero Miss fight.
Yeah, I mean, Masamunes also sure do exist. Excalibur's for darting in the last fight, also great. You know, there's a couple of gets for sure, but I mean, again, he's here for the 117,000 experience points from these behemoths. Ask me how I know that number. Ask me how But yeah, Cubs turning in the pan now while Rex is just starting Zot, so that's about the gap. That's about the gap at this point in time. Cubs giving up about a couple of minutes to take the walk down the sealed cave here. But yeah, Cubs has got the pan, and we know this leads further on to good things in his future. And so yeah, about 5 minutes difference-ish, 5-6 minutes.
Demi, I'll ask the question. How do you know that amount of XP?
I've been killing behemoths since 2018.
I was going to comment on the fact that earlier I kind of remarked about calling adamants for Cubs in most of his races. Sure enough, that Massa did show up as the first thing that you mentioned from these chests, but this second one is not as none of the lunar chests are particularly friendly, but I don't know if they get much worse than this.
Yeah, Red Dragon, Blue Dragon is pretty nasty. If you bought tiaras do give you dragon protection potentially. Adamant Armor's Adamant Armor, but we don't have one of those. Cecil cover strats exist here. There's a lot of good options for this fight. It's just that if you don't get them set up right away, they just melee so hard. Like, you know, just the Red Dragon in particular does single melee, double melee, which just absolutely hurts. So yeah, if anything, also Blizzard comes out. Blizzard's okay because it's health. It's based on the current health of the Blue Dragon. So we're kind of doing fine. Blue Dragon also versus Holy Elemental, so you know, the Cecil Sword just doesn't do quite as much damage. But this is fine now. With the Red Dragon dead, you know, everything's completely under control here.
Yeah, those Berserk hits going in a pretty nice direction there, and that is still a lot of experience. The Porum still going to pick it up as the hero here, so just the Fu missing out, which is... you don't really care about the experience on Fu there, and Avenger?
High Lord
I think it's our first Avenger?
High Lord Holy Avenger, yeah, first one on the board, and I think Korgs has decided that an Avenger, a Masamune, and 300,000 experience points are more than enough for this party. He's at the save point. I don't know if the plan here is he's topping up or if he's just... This looks like a rearrange for the Z fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Heron Robe had done its job now. We need this Rosa to be able to heal. So making that switch over, and yeah, Korg's set to head down, it looks like here.
Yep, speaking of heading down, Cubs is first going to give us a look at the boss here, and he sees it is not Golbez, and he's like, I'm good. So resets out of that. Look at Dark Elf. So again, doing a pretty standard moon route play, again going face check Bahamut, resets out when it's not what he wants. And we'll see if he does top down or bottom up. And of course, the flags are out. It is about that time. I know you don't do memes. We talked about this earlier. Do you want me to take this one from you?
Go ahead, please.
So I guess everyone knows about what time it is, because the flags are out. We're heading on down into the lunar subterrane, deep into the core, where the music kicks in and everything gets real rad. Old Man Zero's been waiting here for a very long time for you. He's big and can't move. He's evil and can't move either. But he's got a lot of cosplays. He is a professional cosplayer, over 650 cosplays in his closet. We are going to find out, most importantly, which one he's wearing tonight. We are going to find out whose butt we are going to kick tonight.
And I guess actually the one thing I will note in that is there is another one on the line here as well. That's the teams that finish in second and third get a Zeramus Sprite for their team. The team that finishes in first gets one per player, as well as harp songs, the kind of same split there. So this is, yeah, not just our mystery Zeramus Sprite, but also our prize, essentially, for this race.
Yeah, Cubs, of course, just hits the LST, skips the Tela. Rex is just finishing up the Earth Crystal, so he's gonna get his reward, the Pan, or he's gonna get his continued reward, the Pan, in a moment. And Zeromus is actually gonna be.
You don't have to deal with, what is it, 4 phases on this one? No Sin Spawn in the way, but just a few big bangs instead.
Alas, we don't get Otherworld kicking in here, but hey, the last fight theme for this game is fantastic anyways. But yeah, Korg's doing a little bit of setup here, making sure that Rosalie got nuked, stays topped off, does have the first nerf here, and is going to work with the pair of Zerkers at this point. Cecil with the Avenger has decided that 5400 is the damage line here, so we're doing about 7 grand a cycle with our Zerkers at this point. Cecil, he's pretty good. Yep, but now there's also going to be a Star Veil set, so he's actually also going for a partial reflect strat here, it looks like, just to help push damage at this point in time, so going to probably throw a couple whites and nukes into the mix here. I think it's only nukes, I don't know if Rosa has white, I'm not sure if she got there, but yeah. And so just going to try and, again, bridge the gap a little bit and push through into Phase 2 and through Phase 2 just a little bit here.
So yeah, meanwhile, Rex gonna pick up a few levels here. I did not see how many sirens we have. Still just that one looted earlier, so yeah, it's not a huge number of levels. Meanwhile, Cubs managing to pick up the Palom against that Dark Knight Cecil, so does get a lot of experience there. But now gets the scary news. Cubs face-checked Cave Bahamut earlier and is now looking for either the Pink Tail or Golbez. If he continues to face-check here, Rex has a window. Because we know that they're not going to find Golbez on the moon.
Yep. We know all the things at this point in time, the eye in the sky and the big booth here. Pan turn in about to happen here. Cubs still needs one objective. We know it won't be Golbez. We know it will be a pink tail eventually. Is it at the White Spear altar? Would be the question of the day. Let's find out. Face checks dancing dolls, which I find interesting. If you still got your Quake caster.
Oh? Reconsidered, I think, there? Is that... I think this was a, it's not Golbez, I'm leaving, and then thought about it a second longer and went, this is quick, and Pink Tail here is just faster than Golbez anywhere.
Yep. On the Corks fight, by the way, the rest of the team is dead. It's Rosa. It's Cecil. Cecil's angry. Rosa survives that. So yeah, we might just go down to... He's gonna pop Fu back up as well, so... I guess just wants the extra party member here just in case. But yeah, Cecil's still swinging for like 5k. Might be enough with just this Cure 4, honestly, all things considered, so should be just fine.
Power couple doing power couple things, yeah.
Yeah, Avenger, heck of a last pickup, honestly, of all the things you can get your hands on, right?
Yeah, I always wonder if there was, like, even considering all the options of things to dart and... there's nothing that you would have asked for more, I think, except maybe that adamant.
Holy heck, Cecil gets torched. Oh. Cecil goes down. Elixir on Fu. Are we in Meteo? We are. We gotta dodge some rocks here, though, and possibly get off a pair of nukes with Fu. This is a little frightening. Rosa dodges, though. I'm gonna raise Cecil up. But man,
that's a dodge?
Full dodge that time. Cure 4 queued. So should be fine here. Just what a sudden change of affairs there. That was pretty rough. Rocks continue to spill forth though here. Only Rosa's alive. Oh no. Oh no, is it about to fall apart? Is it all about to go down here? Needs Rosa to cast a Cure 4 right now.
Getting those run buffers in just to be ready as soon as that menu comes up, and that's...
No, don't like that.
That's a hit. That's one hit, Cecil.
Did he get it? It's enough. It's barely enough.
Oh.
Falling over the line still counts as getting over the line. GG to Korgs. Holy heck.
Wow. Yeah, really pulling that fight down to the wire, but that is 290 health is more than enough at this point.
The suddenness of the amount of clenching that just happened there.
Clenching? What clenching?
Perfectly smooth, saw nothing remotely dicey or anything. How are you feeling?
It's kind of fun when, like, halfway through racing, all the pressure comes off and you're just kind of racing for fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, apparently, we heard that you said you liked the seed at the time. Does that still apply? Did you still like the seed?
Oh, yeah, I certainly did. I was DMing with Kyrios after I finished, and he was wondering about the package play. And once I was just racing for fun, that was 100% I was going to do that just to show chat who was there. But then when it was a Fu, I had to put myself in the racing mindset. If this was still a live race, that would have been a tough call. I can't tell you I definitely would have done it, but yeah, seeing the Fu there was tempting. So and I was watching back and I was surprised when Cubs didn't hit go mode from the ribbon check, and then I realized that no one else did the package.
Yeah, it's definitely like in this position, a pretty incredible find because, I mean, for what it's worth, Rex reset out of it and Cubs has been face checking, so definitely a turning point.
Cubs is in the giant face checking right now. In fact, he's skipped Demist. Demist is located, it's down at the Masamune altar, but he is on full face check mode here. And the thing is, he's not gonna find anything in full face check mode. We know this, which hurts. It hurts me deep inside. This might be the window. This might be Rex's chance if he just decides to kill moon bosses.
Yeah, it is going to be the absolute last face that Cubs will check, but
So did anyone do the tower key yet?
Yep, it was a Zeus Gauntlet.
Okay. Yeah, I was just having fun. I was looking, I knew this was going to be my last race no matter what. And yeah, that's why I decided to keep playing. I was set up, I was ready to go, and I definitely didn't want Kyrios to take a forfeit loss here. I guess if Cubs wins, then our race might be moot, but we'll figure out what we need to do. But yeah, I just was having fun playing tonight and wanted to keep going.
I mean, yeah, no, definitely respect that and appreciate it. It is an incredible show.
How's your nights been?
I've also had fun.
Yeah, no, like this has been a blast for sure. I will say I've been trying my best not to be too biased, so I got to cheer for you wholeheartedly once I knew it didn't matter.
If you want to know, Corey,
I
I've
suppose.
been having fun in the back end dealing with everything. It's been a blast, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I hope Garen and Noob Tree are having fun too. I hope it's just a whole barrel of fun, and we'll see if Kyrios and I get to have fun later on.
That sounds pretty good. Cubs is trying to cut down the Mega Sisters here with this Mute Knife, which is probably just fine at this point. He's doing 10 grand a swing, so he's gonna get somewhere at least. It's just gonna take a minute. Let's see what Rex is going to do now with Darkness Crystal in hand. He chose to check the tower off the tower key and got a whole lot of 0 from it. So yeah, he's launching the whale now. He's headed on up. So let's see how this plays out.
So I'm gonna jump in again. Actually, a good comment from chat. I'm Corey, if you're good to cut your stream, we're not gonna spoil where this pink tail is. We're gonna find it the old-fashioned way.
Oh, good call.
With violence?
Absolutely.
So, just that is I'm good to cut.
Yes, you are officially good to cut, as opposed to the last time when I waited 10 minutes late to tell you, oh, by the way, you're good to cut.
Oh yeah, I also asked you twice before the race, and I wasn't good to cut then, but I'm definitely good to cut now.
You are 100% good to cut now.
All right, I'm cutting.
Ask me one more time.
The most professional restream team in the business, everybody, right here, right now.
I actually didn't remember that from last time, Dathis. I was just kind of being a little jerk in pre-game chat. So I'm glad it has context.
Really? That's even funnier, actually.
I was just messing around.
Because I'm looking at our DMs, we'll try to sort everything else out. I'm like, is he just busting my chops because of the last time? No, you're just doing it because it's you. Got it, Corbs.
I appreciate you gave me that much credit.
Well, Mega Sisters down. Big pile of experience for Cubs.
All right, I'll hop out and watch the rest of the race conclude, and we'll see what happens. If we could be building up to an exciting finish here.
Yeah, GG's.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
You too.
Korg sounds like he really wants to have an exciting finish here so that he could have the one-on-one with Kyrios for all the marbles later this week. But yeah, Cubs still in the giant. Cubs is gonna figure out. Cubs is gonna know where Golbez is very soon because he's checked everything.
I think at this point they've done every moon boss. We've seen Sealed Cave from Cubs. I think this is the sign of it's package. I don't think there's anything else left for Cubs to even consider at this point.
So I know you said you prefer that this be a complete 100% clear, right? I just want to. I want this. I want it on the record that you said that.
This is like doing the giant when it's not an objective. This is like the 110%.
Like on the one hand, you gave Cubs an adamant armor, good on you, and then you punished him with this. He's on
the commentator curse gives, the commentator curse taketh away.
He's on the giant right now. I mean, he's through the giant right now because, oh god, he's got so many levels. So many levels.
I mean, I guess the bright side of a full clear is he does have the pass. So after the package, they're just going to fly over to Troya. Yeah, no, there is no way. I said earlier, you know, different runners will feel pressure in different situations. There are some people who are very good at analyzing okay, here are the things that worked and here are the things that didn't and here are the risks I have to take. You never feel good in this position. There is no world where you feel good right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. Like, the thing is that Rex still needs to run up into the pink tail in his travels, basically, for this to still be somewhat close. But yeah, Rex giving up some time and Odin, you know, doing also full clearing the Earth. Cubs, of course, has finished. He's got the last piece of the puzzle in hand here as he is headed over to the package pop spot here, so he's got it all figured out.
It's not often you get to see the whale making the world tour, but when there's only one path left to you, we get a full trip with this thing.
Yep, we get all the swag in the world at this point in time.
So Rex, of course, going to start with the ribbon room here. Kind of expected. Double the items, the objective, kind of no questions asked on that one. I think the kind of interesting thing is the expectation would then be you do the white spear altar next, and then the massa altar. And at that point, firstly, will Rex also face check, or are we going to see those things come out? And I guess the second question, if we get there, is does he then leave to check the Demist check?
I don't know. I like the play of just fighting bosses, though.
Yeah, I think I could definitely see a world where you go to the Crystal Sword altar save point, and then save there, exit out, go to Mist, and if you don't get the pink tail, just reset back up. But at the very least, I think I'd want to see that Demist fight.
Yeah, that seems like it's kind of real interesting too. So we'll see how that plays out. Slow walk to Golbez for Cubs. Rex is here. We know it's not here at the White Spear altar because this is actually the only other one that Cubs did clear. Because of the use of Quake and high-powered sweep magic, so was able to get through this pretty easily. Cracker Noob Tree. It's a defense sword. Thanks, Noob Tree.
Shout outs to the trackers for what it's worth. Noob Tree and Garen just absolutely carrying things behind the scenes. Dathus absolutely carrying things behind the scenes and sometimes in front of them. And of course, massive shout out to all of the runners today. All 4 of them, in spite of technical difficulties, we will potentially see more from Kyrios and Korgs later in the week. But yeah, make sure to give everyone involved a follow, and thank you, Demi, for joining on comms with me. This has been really fun so far, and gonna see it kind of come down to the final steps in a bit.
Yep, it's good. I'm glad you're having a good time. That's the whole idea. We're here to have fun, show off a game that we love, Final Fantasy IV for Enterprise. Come hang out. We've got a Discord, we got a website, we got all that good stuff. Right now we've got Rexroll, who's got a decision to make whether he's fighting bosses or face checking. A lot of this has unfortunately not gone right for him this seed. It's been kind of a bumpy ride where he's been pretty deep in the clear, and Cubs has seen it all at this point. Hasn't fought a lot of it, at least on the moon, but he's seen it all at this point.
Yeah, I think that is every single boss on Cub's side. Like, he is in the position to figure out which boss is missing at this point. I couldn't tell you. I do not remember.
I'm trying to think who's missing. It's never demissed. Oh, it's Rubicon. We never saw Leg.
Ah, true.
I'm pretty sure we never saw Leg. I hope we never saw Leg. I'm gonna look bad if we saw Leg.
I think if we did, it would have been a face check, because I don't remember a fight, at least. Perfect.
Elements are at Murasame altar. Yep, there you go. Oh, Ruby's at Crystal Sword altar? I'm bad. Never mind. I failed. Officer Soldier. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Build Cubs now is done. Got a crystal in hand. Headed over to Terraria real quick. Rex is fighting the Mist Dragon here. So yeah, all roads lead to Mist, I guess, question mark here.
Yeah, and I guess kind of coming back to the point earlier of like, oh, do you leave a save on the moon and go down to check the key item check here? If you do, you probably also then decide to go and check that package boss. The issue being, Rex reset out of it earlier, so then there's a world where he's going, well, I already had the opportunity to do that, and I didn't take it then, so I'm going to put this off now and do the rest of the fights on the moon first.
Yeah, a lot of difficult decisions. And when the seeds get long like this, when you're past like 90 minutes, things get hard, like decisions-wise. So you end up having to make some tough decisions at this point. But yeah, Rex has kind of chosen his choice here of trying to push on through this fight at D-Mist, which is understandable. Cold Mist actually killing Edge really hard because I think he had the adamant armor on and had it removed for Cecil, for the Crystal Sword Cecil.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of funny saying about like the decisions after the 90-minute mark, because there's almost like a sweet spot where decisions are easy. If a seed is too fast, you end up with so many options that it's that decision paralysis. I have so many things in front of me and so many of them are good. What do I do? And once you get down to this kind of like the tail end of a seed, we're in the, kind of the dregs of the checks here. It's none of these options are good, and I have to pick one of them. What do I do? And there's almost like a sweet spot in between where it's just, this is comfortable. This is where I want to be.
Yeah, usually for me that's playing Z1R. But yeah, so Yoshi, your team is now one clean Zeromus fight away from the third place finish. How do you feel right now? How are you feeling? Are you feeling biased yet?
I'm waiting with I'm holding my breath still. Like this, we saw one fight nearly go drastically wrong. I'm waiting, but I'm excited.
Alright, so we got Bacchus Wines out for the two fighters here. Yang doing the big hitting. It looks like Edge is also going to be hitting out. It's a Spoon Dagger from Mist Dragon. That is the other key item that we didn't know where it was yet. So a dart for Edge, but nothing else. Mist Dragon in hand, I guess Rex is likely to cast Exit here, and we'll see if he decides to like drop a save and go back to Earth or what. First Big Bang is out. Looks like that was nerfed by Silk Web, so should be fine and good and comfy. Yeah, 1,000 damage is like near cap for a nerfed Big Bang, but whatever. Life's pretty good damage-wise here. We do have Nuke, we have White, we have Cure 4, we have 2 Zergers. So this should still be pretty academic, honestly. I don't know how much you got to worry about at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, after the Giant as well, we have all the levels in the world. Skipped out on those moon fights, but it definitely took a couple of fights to make up for it later on.
Yep, still reeled in 500,000 experience points from the Giant as well, so that does, I guess that does doubling as your grind. But we are going to get our look at leg here, because Rexwall is going to come up to the Crystal Sword Altar. Yeah, Reflect's going out for Cubs. Again, very smooth. Party members are pretty high on health. Porum had a wall, so didn't get healed. But hey, I have an Elixir. It is the Elixir League after all, right? So I'm going to throw one Elixir over at Porum. Make sure that she is full healthy for the next Big Bang if we get that far.
Did we see any moon veils today? I don't remember seeing a moon veil.
There was one in the first Eblan encounter chest.
One did get used, so we have had the Elixir League and the Moonveil Mixer show up as
Curious, noting that they started with one actually in the starting kits. So hey,
even better.
good stuff. Yeah, like the amount of damage that Cubs is pushing is making this go real easy at this point. Leg is down, buck 25, 128,000 experience points here for Rex. So his grind is pretty well done as well. But Zerome is pretty well done here for Cubs rule. Hey, congratulations. Y'all did the thing. It's always a crystal...
As the pink tail shows up on Rex's side as well.
See, Rex didn't go to the golden rule, which is I'm in the commentary booth. The answer is always the Crystal Sword Altar. That's the law. But yeah, Cubs rule taking the dub. Big win, 2-0. Last Korgs, I apologize that your race with Curios is going to be for personal honor and joy rather than for anything else. But yeah, what a race. Hour 51 and 7 seconds. You want to talk to your teammate? You want to be excited together? I'm going to step out of the way, let you be excited.
Cubs, how are you doing?
You know, Demi on comms, of course it's the Demarine. Why wouldn't it be the Demarine? No, let's send this tournament out on a nice 34-34. Gotta love it. Oh, that was great.
Yeah, definitely took the long way there, but I we've said it so many times in the tournament. You take them however you get them. A win is a win. I guess we've seen the obvious of this, the full Giant with the package just ready and waiting. How are you?
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel beyond that?
It's funny, I had an Adamant Cup seed last year, and the same way, package versus Giant for Golbez. And I went package that time and it worked out, and well, I guess I should have done that again. That is the world's slowest Golbez fight. The 1-2 agility at the package is so much fun. If I hadn't taken the heroin robe off, I might still be in that fight right now. No, it hit me after the dolls that I had access to everything, so I just at that point, it just became a boss hunt, and well, it became a hunt in the worst way possible. But thankfully, there was still enough time for me to pull that one out.
Yeah, like, I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point that both of you did just about everything. I think there are a couple of bosses that you peaked that Rex either hadn't got to, or, we never saw. I don't think Rex went into Sealed Cave, but in terms of checks, you're down to the last locations on both sides, pretty much. But the early Adamant paying absolute dividends. The early game team just... I know, again, something that we've talked about before, something that I kind of talk about in commentary a lot, but, like, not everybody is happy to just have everything handed to them. How did you feel with this kind of party, this kind of early game setup?
Early was fine until the Val in the changing room. I was less than thrilled with that. Though at least at that point it wasn't required. I wanted Berserk before going to music, so that paid off in the Adamant, and it all just it started to fall into place, and it seemed so nice, and then it was the world's longest hunt for darkness. So that's how it goes. I wouldn't have minded a little bit of a shorter seed, but I can't complain. I'm very happy with the result.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm sitting here grinning like I've been grinning this whole time. I guess less of a seed thing and more of a tournament thing at this point, but I guess the only other question is any early thoughts on sprites and songs?
I think as a team, I have a feeling I know what the sprite is going to be. You know, the team tournament. This is the most fun I've had playing Free Enterprise in months. You, Kryl, have absolutely surprised the heck out of me. You two hit the ground running and just were amazing in this tournament. Kyrios, Eurus, and I were fighting it out as normal. Don't worry, you'll still yell at me come 2v2 season. But no, I'm so proud of all three of you. Just what we've done to even get this far has been amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can only echo that. This is the team chats have been so much fun, and like it's incredible seeing just how much everyone's kind of chipped in with everything and pulled their weight on it. And I mean, yeah.
I really hope we do some sort of team concept again. If it's not this same setup, just some kind of team tournament. This is great. I honestly, I have loved this tournament so much. I can't remember having this much fun playing in a long time. But GG to Rusty Spoons. Very close match. Very, very close setup here. GG to Rex. I see him in the Z fight right now. Huge thank you to you and Demi for comms. I can't wait to watch this one back. Noobtree and Garen tracking, thank you both as well. And Dathis, you and I have already had words, but of all the seeds I've ever played, that was certainly one of them, and a great way to end the tournament.
We've got time. You want to have some more words, man?
None that will... You see, those words might get me in trouble on this channel, so no.
I'm here. I'm helping.
No, I just thank you so much to the admin team for coming up with this idea, for making this happen. This has been great. Yeah. I will step on out. Let you guys bring in Rex. Just thank you so much, everybody. This has been a great time.
Yeah, GG's. I'm sure we'll catch up in the team chat in a bit, but congrats again.
Thank you.
What a fun race! And now we've got Rex working through the fight right now. I mean, this is Crystal Sword Cecil and a very well geared Edge at their finest here. This is 3 bruisers and a white mage and a pile of Bacchus wines. Palom is now in full-on chemistry mode, it looks like.
Yeah, this whale is not long for this world. That's Cecil putting out a huge amount of damage there, and just matter of time at this point. Again, all of the levels in the world, seed like this will do that, and that makes your Zeramus fight almost trivial. I wouldn't say completely, but about as close as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of power. That's just a lot of damage output. Sin gets absolutely drilled, so GG to Rex. Tough run for sure, but makes it through in good shape. Just a hair shy under 2 hours.
And yeah, welcome Rex. GG's.
Alright, thanks.
I suppose it hardly needs to be asked, but how did you feel about this seed?
You know, actually, I felt pretty good about it for the most part. Like, yeah, I had to do a lot, but like, I feel like I was able to do it. I mean, other than taking a couple of swings at Odin before I got it down, I think I was able to handle everything that came. So yeah, I felt pretty good going through it. It was just long, but I kind of like the longer ones.
Yeah, fair. Sorry, I don't know how much conversation there's been after the finish, but do you know at this point where the Golbez was waiting away?
You know, I'm guessing there was only a few places left, so it might have been on the Giant, it might have been in Luca Cave, it might have been behind Package. There's a couple
Yeah.
places on the moon I didn't look. Like, that's about it.
Yeah, it was behind that package, so
Yeah.
uh,
Had it been Cecil and not Fu as the package character, I would have gone for it, but yeah.
yeah, fair, that makes sense.
Well, Rex, tournament runs in the books here. I mean, again, I think the big turning point was Cubs found an early adamant armor in Castle Eblan that you didn't, which is always kind of rough, but you don't ever know that's going to happen until you get in here with us. But how do you feel about this tournament overall as a whole? 4th place is still real good.
Well, first of all, I did get that animate armor at Evelyn Castle, but
Wait, that's right. You did, didn't you? Yo, you got it way. Yeah, you got it way later. That's right. You got it about 12 minutes later. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I checked it right before I went down Oprah. But to your question, like, I felt very good about the tournament. This is like my best tournament finish ever, and I've been playing since ZZ2. So this is. I feel very good. I feel very good about my team. We did really good. Yeah, we ran into some trouble in the playoffs, but you know, these things happen. And overall, I'm very glad I played. And yeah, it was just a really positive event for me.
I'm glad. We've been hearing that a lot. Everyone seems to have had a lot of fun with their teams and everything, and that's always exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the rest of the Rusty Spoons, Maggie the Cat, Zilch, and Corbs. Been a blast being your teammates.
And yeah, it's definitely really nice hearing that from pretty much every single team. Is whenever it's about the tournament, this has been a ton of fun, and the team dynamic has been so good. So I know I'm not alone in saying hopefully we'll see more of this. And yeah, I mean, I guess assuming there are other team tournaments, I guess this is kind of a, I don't know. I don't want to ask anything. Feel free to not answer. But if there were another team tournament, do you think you would then want to go in with the same team that you know you've had a good dynamic with, or would you want to try something new and something different, do you think?
It kind of depends on the time of the place. Like, if all of the spoons wanted to get together again, I wouldn't say no. Like, we had too much fun for me to say no. But if that's not an opportunity, I think it would be just as fun to have another team like that. So, yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
That's the diplomatic answer, too. So. But yeah, and thanks to everybody who helped put on this event, the admins and the designers of the tournament in general, because making it this team event, I just want to echo what you said. It's just been such a different dynamic, and I don't know if I would have returned to Free Enterprise Racing if it wasn't for that. So.
Nice. So any last thoughts on the seed or anything else tonight, Rex, before we start wrapping this party up?
Just that if the next time I'm in an event that has adamant armors in it, I just hope I find my pigtails faster.
Yeah, that's kind of sometimes what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, you too. Well, that is our third place playoff wrapped up, but there is still more to come from this Saturday. So at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, we will have the first match of the finals. There's both matches on the Saturday. It'll be JMac versus Nitsi to kick things off. And then later on in the day, 10 p.m. Eastern, Peasants versus Nightdew and NG Dave versus Woobear to see which of Team Wombat Milk and Bold Strategy will take first place.
I'm rooting for Nightdew, if only because we started playing for Enterprise at the same time. But, you know, root for who you want, root for good races. It'll be real exciting. But it looks like we are headed on out. We're going to go hang out with Tall Grant, doing the first Film Friends race of the upcoming club season. That's what our off season is between tournaments, is that we do clubs, lots of different flags, lots of neat ideas. I believe this is the second year or the second season of Film Friends, so probably new films and new friends, but we should go hang out, send them some love. And of course, on behalf of our restreamer Dathis, we had Noobtree and Garen in the tracking booth, and of course for you, Yoshi, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I'm glad I got the chance to do some commentary with you. And we'll see y'all on Saturday for the finals. See you soon.
Okay, have a good night, everyone.